Hello everyone, and welcome back to our series, Learning Buddhism, Understanding Correctly, Practicing Correctly, based on the teachings of Gautama Buddha. Lesson 8, Observing Emotions, Neither Following nor Pushing Them Away. In Lesson 7, we explored mindfulness, the ability to remember to be aware of what we are doing, thinking, and feeling. Through mindfulness, we begin to notice more quickly what is happening in our body and mind, and we are no longer completely carried away by our old habitual reactions. But once we recognize an emotion, an important question arises. What should we do with it? If we know that we are angry, sad, or anxious, what should the next step be? That is the topic of today's lesson. Our two familiar reactions. Normally, when an emotion arises, we tend to respond in one of two ways. The first is to follow it. When we are angry, we speak harshly. When we are sad, we become absorbed in our sadness. When we are anxious, our mind keeps creating stories about the future. The emotion takes the lead, and we simply follow without realizing it. A moment of anger may last only a few minutes, yet it can cause words that hurt someone for many years. A small worry can turn into hours of endless thinking. A temporary disappointment can make an entire day feel heavy. We think we are controlling our emotions, but in reality, our emotions are controlling us. The second way is to push them away. We tell ourselves, I shouldn't feel sad. I need to be strong. This isn't something worth getting angry about. On the outside, we appear calm, but inside, the emotion is still there. It has only been temporarily suppressed, waiting for another opportunity to emerge even more strongly. It is like pushing a ball under water. The harder we push it down, the higher it bounces back when we let go. Following emotions and pushing them away are opposite reactions, but they share one thing in common. We do not truly understand our emotions. And because we do not understand them, they keep repeating themselves. A third way. The Buddha pointed to another path. That path is observation. Observing does not mean analyzing who is right or wrong. It does not mean searching for causes in the past. It does not mean trying to solve the problem immediately, nor does it mean forcing ourselves to be calmer. Observing simply means seeing clearly what is happening, exactly as it is. When an emotion arises, we recognize, there is discomfort. There is sadness. There is anxiety. That is all, without adding stories such as, why am I like this? I shouldn't be angry. That person was so unreasonable. Everything is going to turn out badly. We simply know that an emotion is present. Observing through the body. One very effective practice is to shift our attention away from the stories in the mind and back to the sensations in the body. For example, when discomfort arises, ask yourself, where is this feeling? In the chest? The stomach? The throat? The shoulders? What is its quality? Is it hot? Cold? Tight, heavy, contracted, vibrating? Observe it with the curiosity of someone studying a natural phenomenon, without judgment, without resistance, without wishing it to disappear quickly. Just look. You will discover that emotions do not exist only in the mind, they also manifest clearly in the body. Anxiety often comes with tightness in the stomach. Anger often comes with heat in the chest or face. Sadness often feels heavy and draining. By observing the body, we become less caught up in mental stories and return to what is actually happening in the present moment. All emotions are impermanent. Something interesting gradually reveals itself when we observe patiently. Emotions are always changing. No emotion lasts forever. Anger may be intense for a few minutes and then slowly weaken. Sadness may arise, reach its peak, and gradually fade away. Anxiety may move from the chest to the stomach and disappear as the mind relaxes.
Before, because we were swept away by emotions, we believed they were permanent and frightening. But through observation, we see that they are like clouds in the sky. They come, they remain for a while, and then they go. No cloud stays in the sky forever. Likewise, no emotion lasts forever. Seeing this impermanent nature is an important step towards understanding ourselves. Emotions are not me. Normally we say, I am angry, I am sad, I am worried. But through observation, a different perspective gradually appears. We begin to realize there is anger arising, there is sadness present, there is anxiety being known. This small distance is incredibly important because at that moment we no longer completely identify ourselves with our emotions. The emotion is still there, but it is not the whole of who we are. It is simply a phenomenon that arises and passes away. Just as clouds are not the sky, emotions are not our true nature. This understanding brings a great deal of freedom. We are no longer compelled to act on every emotion that appears. We have a choice. Practice does not need to be perfect. Of course, nobody does this perfectly from the beginning. There will be times when you become angry and only remember to observe afterwards. There will be times when emotions are so strong that you completely forget this practice. That is perfectly normal. Practice does not mean never making mistakes. Practice means returning whenever we become aware. Remembering once today is already progress. Remembering twice tomorrow is another step. It is like riding a bicycle. Falling down does not mean failure. Getting back up and continuing is the learning process itself. What matters is not perfection, but persistence. Freedom begins with observation. Before learning to observe, emotions are like powerful waves that carry us away. We react automatically. We say things we don't mean. We do things we later regret. But with mindfulness and observation, a small space begins to appear between emotion and action. Within that space lies the opportunity to choose. To choose silence instead of arguing. To choose listening instead of reacting. To choose understanding ourselves instead of blaming others. This is the kind of freedom that the Buddha encouraged us to develop. Not the freedom to do whatever we want, but the freedom not to be controlled by our emotions. In summary, when emotions arise, we usually have two habits. We either follow them or we push them away. But there is a third way, to observe them exactly as they are, without resistance, without attachment, without judgment, simply knowing and seeing. Through observation, we gradually understand that emotions are impermanent, constantly changing, and not our true self. And with that understanding, peace and freedom begin to grow in our daily lives. Now, let's move on to the practice and see how we can apply this teaching in our daily lives.
Hello, everyone. Here is a simple exercise you can try during the day. Whenever an emotion arises, follow these 3 steps. Step 1, recognize it. Quietly acknowledge, there is an emotion. There is discomfort. There is sadness. Simply notice it without judgment. Step 2, pause for a moment. Do not rush to speak. Do not rush to act. Take a few seconds to create some space. Even one slow breath can make a difference. Step 3, observe the sensations in the body. Where is the emotion located? Is it hot or cold, heavy or light, tense or soft? Simply observe and feel. There is no need to fix it, no need to get rid of it. Do not cling to pleasant emotions and wish them to stay. Do not reject unpleasant emotions or try to push them away. Allow everything to arise and pass according to its natural nature. If you forget, that's perfectly fine. When you remember, simply return. Every return is a successful moment of practice. Gradually, you will find that emotions are no longer as frightening as before, and you will discover a little more freedom within yourself. That is all for today's lesson. Thank you for taking the time to learn and practice the Buddhist teachings. See you in Lesson 9.